Hi, welcome everyone. Uh, Today we will have insightful talent talk in a series by TalentGro Global, where we are helping our audience meet professionals, seasoned entrepreneurs. And in today's Talent Talk, we have a very special guest, Managing Director of Gilard Electronics Private Limited, Mr. Sanjiv Singh. So thank you so much, sir, for being on our platform and sparing your valuable time. And today, I thought, this employment readiness and industry connect is something which is required by our youth, and not only by the youth, it is required by seasoned professionals as well, because job market is evolving every day. So I'm really grateful for sparing your time and welcome on our platform, sir.
Thank you, Indu. Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure being here.
So, sir, before we start with the question round, I will suggest if you can give brief to our audience about your career journey, and maybe that can give them some insight about how they can start a prosperous career journey.
We have a manufacturing unit here in Mohali by name of Gilard Electronics Private Limited. And this unit was set up 60 years ago by my father. So I'm the second generation entrepreneur here. Basically, I would say the fundamentals would have been right. That's how the company has sustained itself for the last 60 years. So we have been manufacturing components for the electronic components for the automobile industry, as well as the defense and for electronic industry, white line appliances, and with continuously developing new products based on new technologies and new quality expectations from the customers.
So it means good governance and adaptability of the organization. I think that is the key message our listeners will get from your career journey. So, sir, I would just like to ask, when it comes to employment readiness, industry connect, I see a lot of anxiety in professionals, as well as I see a lot of anxiety in our youth, especially this Gen Z generation. So, how you think they need to prepare themselves? What are the core skills that you look forward for when you hire people, and what they need to develop? What kind of skills they need to develop?
I think one pitfall that we're having this right now with the new technology and too much use of mobile phones and virtual meetings, that is interpersonal relationships have gone down. I mean, the people are not able to communicate person to person in the way they could do earlier. And that I feel is a very important part of success. In school and early schooling, we have gone through learning different things, which per se have not been used by us in real life. We've learned trigonometry, we've learned calculus, and we've learned quite some things. Some formulas we have learned by heart, which we were never able to use them in real life. At the same time, you'll also realize and look at your own generation people or your own schoolmates. You'll find that the most successful ones are not the ones who were at the head of the class, who memorized all those things and got good marks in their schools. The most successful people might have been those who were somewhere below the second half or the later half of the class, but who are more involved in dramatics, in sports, either in some cultural activities like debating, or something to do with creativity. So they could do, or the little words, perhaps I would say, who were the naughty ones, who could be more experimental in their life, and they were the ones who could become street smart. They could be able to understand, think in a logical way, and move ahead. So same thing, I would say, like you mentioned earlier, that the two keywords that you picked up was governance and upgrading your skills. I think you just hit it right. The other two things which are absolutely essential, that whoever intends to go for a job or wants to make his own startup, he must understand that with today's ecosystem, the knowledge is available aplenty. we can pick up answers from anywhere. We can Google a question and get an answer. You can write a small statement and you can get a complete chapter on ChatGPT on what you know about it. So the question is that how are you going to use that information that is available to you? You should be able to still use your own skills to analyze a thing, should be able to convert that information into knowledge, and how you can use it wisely to make things better work for you. Those are skills which are required.
So I agree with you, sir, because most of this Gen Z generation and most of the people, they are hooked up in a virtual world. So technology has its own advantages, like we are doing communication today, but certainly it has its disadvantages also. And these days, generally, I find like when it comes to professionals, maybe looking for sales career, and where, human involvement, human interaction is required. So they are hesitant to take up that particular profession. So the core skills, as we said, along with technical skills, the communication skills, the problem solving skills, critical thinking, these things are extremely important. So beyond developing their skills, how they can connect better with the industry, how they can have a better connections, better communication with the industry so that their employment prospects increases. Moreover, in case they want to do some startup, so then they can gain experiential knowledge from the seasoned entrepreneurs.
Now, I would say that there is some kind of gap which is being felt between the industry and the academics right now. What happens is that the academia, they are teaching those technical things and they are giving them high technology also and making them things, but they're not really focusing on the interpersonal skills. They're not teaching them how to communicate well. They're not teaching them how to work as a good team worker, how to have good leadership qualities, how to lead a team. And then besides this, how to be able to do some root cause analysis, how to manage finances. So these are some of the things which are very important. When a new professional enters a industry and when he's got the technical knowledge but lacks these soft skills, he becomes a sort of a misfit in that organization to start with. Gradually, it might take him 6 months to 1 year to get the ropes and understand what is expected from him and improve. But initially, those skills are lacking. So if those skills can be picked up by him, either the colleges should be able to provide those skills, or there should be some other groups where a person can, join after his college and join those groups for 3 months or 6 months and to acquire those personality traits which are required to be successful in life. That could help. And other thing I would like to mention, you mentioned the word of, governance. So we are finding that a lot of startups right now, they're coming up plenty. There's a mushroom growth of startups, but how many of them are really surviving is the $1 million question. And why they're not able to survive is because they're focusing right now is on valuation. They're focusing on how to get some equity into their kitty, how they can be able to do the marketing, build up a bigger customer base. But what they're ignoring is the little financial jugglery which is required to handle in this thing. That when they have the money, how much to spend where, how much to keep safe for themselves to keep the organization. I have seen a lot of companies who have started like this. They had some money and they invested most of the money either in capex, or they have put it all into building up their marketing hype into it, and they've not kept any money for their operations control. So there has to be understanding that they have to maintain a big chunk of amount for their day-to-day operations, because the revenues will not start coming on day one. Profitability will not come from day one. They need to have those maintain their deep pockets of liquidity to ensure that they're able to sustain themselves for some time. But when they spend all the money which comes in their hands into either capex or into spending on the marketing, market building, market brand building, that becomes a little bit of a hassle with them.
I agree with you. I worked in a brand like HSBC for almost 10 years. And I see, financial literacy rate is very low, specifically in India. And I agree with you that college and our school education must inculcate financial education, because that can play a very big role. So, sir, when it comes to like communication skills, building skills, financial literacy. Do you think that lecture methodology is good enough to develop these skills, or students should go for some kind of internships? They should work on some live projects, and they should go out and participate, how to build those skills? Because I think lecture methodology doesn't work when it comes to communication, team building, leadership, or maybe financial education.
It reminds me of two quotations of yesteryears, and I forget who said this, but one was said that we go to school not to learn, but to learn how to learn. That's one. And second one is that true education is what you remember after you've forgotten everything you learned in school. So when you put these things together, when you understand that true education means that you're not, an educated person is one who doesn't have that knowledge inside him, but he knows how to acquire that knowledge. He knows how to use that knowledge, who can get some advantage of that knowledge that he has. So learning how to acquire these traits of communication skills and interpersonal skills, lectures can be a starting point, but I would think that practical orientation is much more required. Unless you deal with people, you're not going to understand the communication skills. So at school level, or I would say in college level, it should become mandatory for all the students to be part of some cultural group. They should be in some debating team. There should be some dramatics team. There should be they have to be. I mean, it should not be left as a matter of choice that they're teaching you something else, but you can be a part of the music group. You can be part of the debating group. No, you have to be essentially this thing, and they should dedicate some merit points to these activities also. And these merit points should be equally weighable to the other points that they give. Because from my point of view, I would say more points should be given to these skills, which you can term as soft skills, but I think they are more required than the technical skills that people tend to get in colleges.
Agreed, sir. And sir, when it comes to working on life projects and internships in an industry, sometimes I'm dealing with students from pretty long time. They come up with a very high expectation in the beginning itself. So how to handle that? Because they want a high pay package sometimes, without they don't want to come with a learning aptitude. Most of the time they just want to see the job in terms of the pay package, not what kind of skills it will build for them. So in the initial stages of career, students should look at the salary package, or they should join an organization where they can have a better learning prospects for future.
I think it's very, very clear. You're clearly differentiating between the winners and the losers right at this point. The winners are those people who are going to join only a place where they're going to learn. And the losers are one who are going to look for a higher pay salary. Because when they go for a pay salary, which is higher than it's high pay salary, and they certainly fall short in skills to suit that package, and the company organizations who have hired them, they'll not keep them for long at those salaries. And they'll keep jumping one to another, getting rejected from everywhere. On the other hand, when they join an organization, which is a learning organization, they will be able to enhance their own values. They'll be able to enhance their personalities to level where tomorrow other organizations will pick them up at much higher salaries than what they expected in the first go. So the focus should be that the students who join in, they should, and especially there's a lot of pressure from the parents when they come out, that talk of going on that so many students, they're getting so much package to start with. That becomes a very bad, precedent for those students. It's almost as bad as, when students, they say they've come first in class and others are behind them. So no, every parent wants their children to come first in class, which doesn't happen. Same way, this pressure from the parent side that they should start with a high package is not a good thing. Basically, the focus should be they should join an organization where they feel there is more of learning and there is more of personality development than the package being given. Package will come later on its own.
Yes, so it's a byproduct, of following the right process.
Exactly.
So, sir, for a better industry connect, what steps they should take when they are in the college itself? How they can connect better with the industry? So, what steps they should take? One, you told that they should participate in cultural activities, debating activities, and they should be working on life projects. Beyond that, also, how they can connect with professionals.
See, I'll tell you. In all these professional colleges, uh, they have a system where they send their students for a 6 week or 8 week internship. And engineering colleges, they also have a full 1 semester in which students go to the industry and work there. And at the same time, they have the guidance from their professor this time. So what I have seen is that normally the students, most of them, they treat these 6 weeks as a holiday. They take that last semester also as a holiday. They think that they will just pull some ropes, go to industry and tell them, sir, meri hazri laga lena, put my attendance and give me a certificate, I was here for this much time, and then do it. I think that is the biggest failure that they can do with themselves, injustice to themselves, because this is the time when they can actually build inroads into the industry. In those first 6 to 8 weeks of internship, which I think they have in the fourth semester, they should be able to understand that what they're learning in their college and what is actually happening in the industry, correlate these things, and then go back to the professors asking them those questions. Okay, sir, you've been teaching us this, but what I saw there is this. So how do you correlate these two things? And in the last semester, they when they go to the industry, they work dedicatedly in them. They work on some projects. They get some project report prepared, and then they do it. Like I'm telling you, for lot many HR companies. In my case, I will tell you, when an engineering graduate comes and uh, comes for an interview, so I don't really look at his marks that he achieved in his semesters. I looked at his project he handled during his last semester, which company he went as a trainee, and what did he do there, and what his trainer had to tell about him. So that becomes a more point of concern for the student, that if he takes his internship and this last semester seriously and does a good job out of it, then there's a lot of learning in which he can learn all those things of communication skills. He can learn the best practices in the industry and how to develop his interpersonal skills, team working, team building, leadership qualities. He can all acquire those in that period.
So, a very good insight you gave to our listeners that it is not only about certificates and degrees. Actually, an entrepreneur look for an asset, the skill set you can bring and the contribution you can make to the organization. So, sir, I'm so grateful for giving a very practical, takeaways for the listeners. One key message, you would like to give to them so that they can remember you and they can feel, yes, Sanjeev sir gave us some valuable tip that we can carry with us.
Yatuji, I would say tell them that the age-old statement that honesty is the best policy is as true today as it was earlier, and is something that's going to be true always. And when I say that honesty is the best policy, it means you have to be honest to yourself and honest to everybody else who comes your way. Because if you're trying to find some shortcuts or some ways in which you can try to move up the ladder faster, then you're not being honest to yourself. You're not being honest to others also. So maintain those things, like be honest, be ethical in your working, work with a passion, and then again, there's no alternate to hard work and deep diving. So avoid shallow working, deep dive into whatever you do, and success has to be a byproduct. It will be there.
So, a very powerful message that dive deep into whatever you do. Put your heart and soul. It is not only about shallow working and, just projecting we are working, but putting our heart and soul, and definitely success will be with us. So, thank you so much, sir. And I'll state our audience, be with us, and we will keep continuing such series for you where you can get valuable insights from industry leaders. And sir, again, I'm very grateful to you. Despite your busy and hectic schedule, you spared time for our listeners. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here with you. Thank you.